Hey y'all, this is Southern Woods here. Welcome back to another Ages of Conflict war simulation. Last time around we were in the year 1600 in our own timeline as we saw all these tribes and nations fight to the death until only one was ruling North America. Fast forward 25 years in our own timeline in the year 1625, there are a few changes and differences. For one, in our own timeline, New Spain has conquered more tribes. Alright, the Pueblo, most notably, no longer a thing. We have the Captaincy General of Cuba owning the island of Cuba. We have New Netherland over here. And then French North America is this orange dot up here as well. So different European powers have just recently landed in North America. There are 70 tribes / nations. To duke it out, put in the comments who do you want to win, who's your bet on, and hit me with that like button. All right. Let's see what will happen first, who will fight first, and who will get eliminated. Alright, already we have alliances forming between the Plains Creek and Chippewa. That's a pretty good alliance. Now the Chippewa duking it out with the Sac Fox to start us out. Our first death is going to be the Miwok, small tribe conquered by New Spain out west. We have some battles up in the northeast. The Abenaki are going to fall to the Erie tribe as they move further away from the lake. And now we have the Shoshone being conquered by the Yokut out there in the western desert. Spanish Florida is now duking it out with the Choctaw. Comanche took out the Kiowa around here. Ooh, a lot is happening now. We just had New Spain conquered the Nez Perce people. So New Spain climbs up into present-day Canada. Alright, the Massachusetts getting a dub in, well, current-day Massachusetts. Wow, a lot is happening quickly. The Pomo conquered the Ohlone, and New Spain gets a couple more dubs under its belt. The Captaincy General of Cuba was just taken out by Spanish Florida via naval invasion. So Spanish Florida is going to get a little bit of that, but so is New Spain. You would think they would be allies, but they are not. Now the Massachusetts went up and took out New Netherlands, so the Dutch no longer in North America in our timeline that we're playing in. Meanwhile, the Passamaquoddy people getting pretty big as they conquer a couple tribes themselves. In the middle of the country, we have the Comanche taking out the Pawnee tribe. Big wars up here. Speaking of, the Illinois conquered the Sac Fox, which the Chippewa couldn't handle earlier. But the Chippewa, with the help of their partners in the Plains Creek, moving against the Innu. Alright, we just had the Cherokee get a dub against the Choanoke, and the Illinois conquer the Missouri. So we have 50 tribes / nations left. Let's check out the statistics here. New Spain, of course, the largest, followed by the Innu and the Plains Creek. But hey, the Hazalah people up here looking kind of big themselves. Talking about economy, we have the Blackfoot Confederacy being the richest, followed by the Sioux and then the Illinois, and then New Spain. Let's check out these alliance maps real quick. We have the Plains Creek Syndicate, of course, being the largest. Alright, formidable tribes up here. And then the Comanche Union is going to be a far second. And then let's look at the puppet map. I don't think there's any puppet states currently, so we don't have to worry about that. Alright, let's continue. Alright, the Massachusetts were taken out. They were on a good run, but they have now fallen. And now we have the Choctaw taking out the Chickasaw, alright, in the middle south. And then the Lakota actually taking out the fierce warriors of the Comanche, moving west, trying to take out the Osage people now. Northern Paiute being suffocated by New Spain, but holding their own, surprisingly. And now the Navajo also trying to be suffocated by New Spain, but New Spain's not getting it done. We just had the Cherokee being conquered by the Osage, which moved west. So Cherokee takes an L kind of midway through this simulation. Meanwhile, French North America, the French have been kicked out by the Erie tribe as well. So the only European power still here is New Spain / Spanish Florida. The Navajo were doing good, but then their economy collapsed, so New Spain was able to take them out. Meanwhile, we just had Erie get another dub under their belt. They expand ever so slightly. The Crow were just taken out by the Blackfoot Confederacy and the Arapaho. Meanwhile, the Chumash making a big push against Spain with the help of the Apache, and the Chippewa took out the Sioux, if y'all didn't notice that. So New Spain is collapsing. All these tribes are teaming up against them, and it looks like New Spain will fall. Who gets the dub here? It's going to be the Natchez people with a big naval invasion taking out Spain officially. Meanwhile, the Miami tribe just fell, alright, to the Susquehannock tribes up here in the northeast. Meanwhile, the Muskogee trying to get across here and take out the Choctaw, but the Natchez and the Choctaw are buddies, so the Muskogee struggling here to do that. Oh, the Erie tribe has been taken out by the Innu. They had a decent run, but they were taken out. The Muskogee taken out by the Choctaw, so they're going to get a lot of South Georgia. All right, we have some puppetry going on as well. Some different alliances forming. All right, the Passamaquoddy people taken out by the Mohicans, the last Mohicans, right? A lot of wars out here in the Midwest. The Arapaho took out the Lakota. All right, the Apache took out the Southern Paiute. And the Apache are going to get huge. Meanwhile, the Blackfoot Confederacy has fallen, so that is also huge. And the Powhatan people were conquered by, the Chumash people conquered by the Apache. My apologies. So we have 24 tribes / nations left. Let's check it out. The Innu, still the largest, followed by the Plains Creek, and then, of course, the Apache looking kind of big now. Talking about economy, we have the Apache, followed by the Choctaw down here in the southeast, and the Osage. And let's check out this alliance map. All right, they're all pretty big right now. The Catawba Pact is probably the smallest, but I'd still say they're pretty formidable here. And then, briefly, let's see if there's any puppetry going on. No longer, because the Chumash took out the Klamath, who were the puppets. All right, let's see what ends up happening as we near closer to the end. Things are about to get real interesting. All right, the Choctaw reaching up the present-day Carolinas, taking out the Catawba. So much for the Catawba Pact. Meanwhile, the Powhatan people fall to the Secotan people up here. Big fall of the Mohicans as the Susquehannock, all right, expand. They've been kind of a dark horse this time around. All right. Taking out yet another, moving down south and taking out yet another. They just got like 3 or 4 dubs in a row. Meanwhile, the Chippewa make a huge move, pushing the Innu far, far northeast. And they're going to go ahead and take them out, as well as the Susquehannock tribe. So the Chippewa all of a sudden with a huge offensive, looking mean. Meanwhile, Spanish Florida has most of Cuba now, except a little piece. The Plains Creek just took out the Haisla people, and the Northern Paiute and the Apache going at it. But the Apache and Plains Creek, I think, are teamed up because they're both going against the Northern Paiute. Uh-oh. The Choctaw pushing against Spanish Florida, and they're going to take out Spanish Florida and get most of the Caribbean as well. Meanwhile, Northern Paiute becoming a puppet state of the Plains Creek, and the Choctaw also taking out the Osage people. Illinois pushing down south, but then get taken out by the Chippewa before the Choctaw could fall. Now the Chippewa going against the Choctaw and the Apaches. Plains Creek getting divvied up a little bit. Meanwhile, the Northern Paiute, their territory was seized from the Plains Creek since they were a puppet of them. Same thing happened to the Choctaw, but not all their territory. Uh-oh. Choctaw fell, taken out by the Natchez, who's going to get Miami and all of the Caribbean. So big move by them. We have 6 nations left: the Chippewa, Apache, Caddo, Hitsook, Natchez, and Wichita. Which will it come down to? Let me know. Is anyone watching, got any of these native bloods running through their veins? Alright, us Southerners always say we're 5-10% Cherokee. Alright, maybe some of you are actually distantly related to the Wichita or the Apache. That would be cool to know. Alright, we have big naval things going on here as the Chippewa move around the Caribbean, take out the Natchez. What a funky fucking move. Impressive by the Chippewa. Uh-oh. The Caddo were suffocated. They collapsed. So the Chippewa looks like the tribe to beat. They're now going against the Apache as the Hitsuk give them some money. Give the Chippewa some money as well. The Wichita are going to fall, and then it looks like the Apache going to collapse, fall pretty soon as well, unless they peace out. They do briefly. But now the Apache will fall. So, it's the Hitsuk in the far Pacific Northwest against the Chippewa. And the Chippewa will get the job done. So, the Chippewa, alright, they've been a part of these simulations for the past, few hundred years for sure. They've had some rough outings, but this time the glory, the victory is theirs. So hit me with the like button if you enjoyed the simulation. If you want to see more of these run up, alright, we're going to jump ahead 50 years next video. Or if you want to see outdoor videos, food reviews, hit me with that subscribe button and join the Southern Woods community. Without further ado, y'all, see you in the next one. Southern Woods out.